Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni G. Shafe. Well, a fantastic performance yesterday for Manchester United, and not forgetting Angel Di Maria really on rampage against Nantes. Welcome you once again on the show. I have Olawale Peters in the studio.
Yeah, good morning, Adeni. It's my pleasure being here.
Okay, we start with the first story that has to do with Nigerian story right now. Before we talk about the Europa League, let's look at the NPFL 2023, where IMC, that is Interim Management Committee, set up to look at the NPFL, says they have confirmed 30 days transfer window concerning this particular break. They will be going, at least NPFL clubs can buy players, and they want to see how these clubs will have the chance to at least better the lot of their teams by the time they return for the second stanza in the NPFL.
Yeah, I think a good one. Before we go into that, you said something that we need to look into concerning the issue of Nigerian story. And by tomorrow, we'll be electing the new president for this country. And I've gone through the manifesto of all the presidential candidates. I didn't see any one of them
talking about sports.
Talking about sport or telling us what they have for us when it comes to sport as a development or as a business. Because this is an angle that most people are not looking at. Most governments are not looking at sport as something that can bring income or revenue into the country, that can increase the GDP of a country. Look at a country like Brazil. You can't be contesting for president in Brazil without telling them what you have in stock for them. You can't be doing the same thing in Britain, probably the British minister, that you don't have, the prime minister, that you don't tell them what you have in terms of sport. Because they know what sport development is all about. All the presidential candidates, I didn't see any one of them that make mention of what they have in stock for us when it comes to sport development. I think it's an area that we need to look into in the future when they are contesting. We need to know what they have in plan for us in terms of sport development and also sport as a business. You know, we are sport-loving nation in this country. Imagine a candidate coming out to tell us we are going to make Nigerian Professional Football League to be at almost at par with the Premier League. You know what that means? It means a lot of jobs will be created, opportunity, and I think it's something worth mention. That's why I have to bring that in the discussion. Okay, and going to the story of the IMC, I think they are really getting everything right, honestly. Concerning the transfer window also, it has opened since 19th of February, and by 19th of March, it's going to come to an end. So exactly, it's 1 month and they are not extending it. It's an opportunity for players that wants to leave troubled club. For example, if you are in El Kaneme with what they are going through currently now, or you are with Kwara United and you are doing very well, and you have an opportunity to move to other clubs, is an opportunity for you to do that. And they are very strict with the timeline also, because by March 24th, all the players for the second stanza has to be registered
before they start
the second stanza, because all of them also now, they are on break for a month. They want everybody to go and perform their civil responsibility. So I think it's a very good one coming from the IMC.
Well, coming from the IMC, that has to do with Nigerian Premier Football League, NPFL, no longer professional, now is Premier League, and we just hope that it will be Premier indeed. Now, from there, let's talk about the big one that also happened yesterday. Well, looking at those matches that were played, we talk about Europa League, the second tier of UEFA competitions. Now, talking about Europa League there, quickly, we'll be looking at the activities in Europa League as we talk about the result of those matches being played over there in Europe. Fantastic performance for all the teams are played, but let's look at the results. FC Cluj, they fought out there as well. I think this is a little conference. Let's talk about the Europa League first. Let's actually swap it before we go to the Conference League quickly, as we talk about the result as it happened yesterday, where Manchester United, they were able to defeat Barcelona. You look at let's focus on that particular story. Barcelona, Man U, a lot of people were tipping it to be maybe it's going to be ending. who will win this particular battle, but eventually the team at Old Trafford, they were able to win. Let's look at it right now. Midtjylland against Sporting Lisbon was 5-1 in aggregate. 4-0 coming from Sporting Lisbon. First leg, they also got 1, and now if you add it together, they got 5 goals, 5-1 in aggregate. Bayern Leverkusen against Monaco ended 3-2. Well, aggregate-wise, 5-5. They had to play penalty where Bayern Leverkusen won on 5-3. Nantes Juventus, Angel Di Maria really was a superlative form there, scoring 3 goals, 3-0 against Nantes, silencing Simon Mosa and the entire squad. 4-1 it ended. Sevilla, PSV Eindhoven 2-0, and you have 2-3 on aggregate level. Good one for Sevilla, even though they were not doing well at home, but now in Europe, they are showing class where they are the king of Europa. Ajax, Union Berlin, 3-1. You have 3-1 in favor of Union Berlin, the team that Taiwo Awoniyi left, and now they are really doing well. Manchester United against Barcelona. The first leg ended 2-2. And now they play 2-1 in this one, making it 4-3 in favor of Manchester United. Just can't take that away. They're really celebrating, really. Man United fans all across the globe celebrated that win yesterday. Reims, Shakhtar Donetsk, 2-1 it ended, and eventually 3-3. And you have 5-4 penalty shootout. Shakhtar Donetsk triumphing there. Roma against Salzburg, 2-0. Eventually it ended 2-1 because the first leg ended 1-0 in favor of Salzburg. And right now, Roma was able to do the business. We are focusing on 3 matches. Let's look at Man U, Barcelona, and then we look at Nantes, Juventus, and not forgetting Roma and Salzburg. Man United, Barcelona.
Okay, and you can see how the mighty are falling, and the Manchester United and Barcelona, and one of the two, let me say, the 2 most decorated team in their respective league. We're talking about Premier League. You can't take it away from Manchester United. They have the best history. Also, if you go to La Liga, Barcelona, they have it also. But you can see both of them playing the second-tier league of the Europe. And yesterday, I saw Alex Ferguson clapping and jubilating. I was like, wow. So
this man, you are still here.
Not that he's still here, so that means they really need that match badly, because it's something that they need to really motivate themselves. Honestly, Manchester United are the most informed team, let me say, in Europe right now. If you look at their record in the Premier League, they've been winning almost all their matches consecutively. And when they played the first leg against Barcelona at Nou Camp, and it ended 2-2, I said it that this is Manchester United game, because their performance at Old Trafford for the past 10 matches has been fantastic. In fact, when Barcelona scored first, I was like, oh, I hope their case will not be like the case of Liverpool that used 2,000 naira to collect 5,000 naira by scoring 2 goals first before.
You see Nigeria as a case study, I guess.
Definitely, that's what we are going through right now. You want to collect 2,000 naira, and you pay 5,000 naira to collect it. That was what Liverpool did against Real Madrid, and the same thing that Barcelona did also.
They used 1 naira
they used 1,000 naira to collect 2,000 naira. So that's what happened yesterday. So I knew that Manchester United, they are going to win the game yesterday. It will be very difficult for Barcelona to get a draw or to win that yesterday match. They will have won the match away from home. Had it been, it was like 2-0, 2-1 or 3-1 at Nou Camp, because you can't play a Barcelona team without them scoring. Definitely they will score. And you cannot play the current Manchester United team without them scoring at least 2 goals. Go and check their record for the past 10 matches. They've been scoring minimum of 2 goals. So that means there's no how you can cage all of them at the same time. Okay, they focused more on Rashford yesterday, but the goals came from the Brazilians. So both Fred and Anthony, who have played 5 matches before yesterday's match without scoring or assisting, but he made that yesterday. So that means that Manchester United, maybe this is their trophy, and we shouldn't also overlook them when it's come to the Premier League also. We can't take the Premier League away from them with their performance right now.
It's
it's still very, very, very open for them. So I think it's a very good one. And from all the matches played on yesterday also, I don't think there's any surprise yesterday.
Well, I love the fact that Juventus Nantes, let's look at that. Angel Di Maria, he got a hat-trick yesterday. Really, that player, maybe I should say, is a bit underrated, but fantastic player. Talking about Angel Di Maria, a lot of comments on social media concerning his performance. You know, Messi is another planet, but Angel Di Maria, fantastic, very slicky player. He did well. That goal he scored, that goal will actually stand out by the time they want to review the goals in this Europa League.
Definitely, the goal will stand out, and this is not the first time he's scoring such fantastic goal. Go and check his record. Right from under 21, when he started with Lionel Messi, they've been together. Even look at the World Cup also. Look at what he did also. Apart from scoring at the World Cup, he made an assist also. He is a player that anytime he's on form, is playing, you will see his performance. Look at what he did at Manchester United when he was in Manchester United. Look at Real Madrid also. So he's a player that wherever he apply his trade, you will see his contribution. And for Juventus, for winning away from home 3-0, it shows that the old lady, they still have the experience. They have what it really takes. Yet their performance in Serie A is not that bad, even not because of the point deduction. And even with the point deduction that they got, look at where they are right now. They are going to compete in Europe next season. I said it, with their performance, they're still going to compete in Europe next season. So it's a very good one. And I'm not surprised with the performance, but I'm only surprised that Knights will allow that to happen in front of their fans. You know, that's football for you. That's football for you. So I'm not really surprised. That's the truth, because Juventus, you can't talk about history of Champions League without making mention of Juventus. So they show that okay, currently now we're not playing in the Champions League, or we are out of the Champions League. Now we are playing in the Europa. And Europa now is becoming more competitive even than the Champions League, because look at all the teams that we have playing.
Barcelona.
Man U, no, you can't mention Barcelona again. Now. You want to bring them through the back door.
Yesterday.
They are not there. They are not there again.
Oh my goodness.
They are not there again.
Let me not bring the enmity now. I understand what's happening. I know an average Chelsea fan, they are happy out there that Barcelona, they are out. Arc rival when you look at football in Europe.
Okay, and I don't think the Chelsea fans will be happy that Barcelona are out. I think they will be happy that all the players that they thought would make Chelsea to be where they are now. Where is Barcelona currently now? I don't know if you get the point. The point is all the players that they are hijacking. They've hijacked all of them. Oh, okay. And we've seen,
the didn't save them.
And we've seen where they are right now in the Champions League. So La Liga, they are doing very well, no doubt about that. They may likely take the league. But when it comes to the Champions League, which I think is something that you know what it takes for Barcelona to be playing in Europa.
That's why.
Not only playing in Europa, now they are out of Europe.
Competition. That's why I actually said an average Chelsea fan will be happy, and now it's coming.
No. It's not about Chelsea fan being happy. It's about the reality.
No, you just mentioned that all the players they are hijacked.
Yeah, from Chelsea.
Yes.
They hijacked them from Chelsea.
Stylishly, you're still.
No. That's not the issue. It's not about Chelsea fans being happy. Chelsea fans are only happy that this player cannot even take us to the promised land because they've not taken Barcelona to the promised land. So that's just the truth about that one. But I see the team, they are still very young. They are more like the Arsenal team also. In the next 2 or 3 years, you will see what the team, what they can really do. So it's a very good performance for the Manchester United. And the team that defeated Barcelona yesterday is not a pushover team.
Of course.
It's not a pushover team, it's Manchester United. And I said it that the favorite to win the league will be the winner between Barcelona and Manchester United if they continue with their performance. So I see them winning that one also. Then another one again about the Roma also.
Yes.
They lost the first match away from home, and everybody was like, Mourinho, you are finished. You have nothing to do again. You have nothing to offer again. And it's like you are now nose diving. People forget easily that this same Mourinho, he won a trophy last season.
With the same Roma.
With the same Roma.
And that was the first time.
The first time in their history. And that was the first time the competition will be introduced. So he made that record also. He's the only coach to have won the Conference League, the Europa, the Champions League.
Twice.
So that means that he still knows how to win the game. I will also give it to the players yesterday also, they played with determination. That's why the goal came very early from Belotti and from Dybala. Two fantastic goals. So like I said earlier, the Europa League will be more interesting now because we have the likes of Juventus, we have the like of Roma, we have the like of Manchester United. They are going to the round of 16, semi-final, and before they get to the final. So let's see how it goes. But there's no surprises about all those that won yesterday, including Bayern, Leverkusen also, Sevilla, 6 times champion. Yes, they won their first match, but
the king of Europa
League. When it comes to Europa League, it's like they have the key, just like the way Real Madrid have the key to the Champions League. So no surprises with all the matches that were played yesterday.
Well, a good one there for Andre Belotti and also Dybala getting those goals for AS Roma, making Jose Mourinho so happy. Now, let's switch to Europa Conference League, the third tier of the UEFA UEFA competitions now. Well, in the Europa Conference League, let's quickly look at the result as those matches were also played where CFR Cluj played 0-0 against Lazio, but on aggregate-wise, Lazio actually moved forward. The Dnipro against Larnaca also ended in favor of Larnaca. Partizan Belgrade, it ended 3-1. Tiraspol came sore conquered and they got 3-2. You have Anderlecht 2-1 against Ludogorets Razgrad, who actually play 2-2. But look at the aggregate wise, eventually that was a good one there where Anderlecht won on penalty 3-0 there. Basel Trabzonspor 2-0 and on aggregate it ended 2-1. Fiorentina, they went on rampage 3-2 against Sporting Braga, but the first leg was 4-0, and if you add it to that, they actually got 7-2 for Fiorentina, the city of Florence. And you have Ghent 1-0 against Karabakh of Azerbaijan, who actually play first leg 1-0. It ended 1-1 on penalty 5-3 in favor of Ghent. And Lech Poznan 1-0 against Bodo Glimt, where it ended 1-0 in favor of the Polish team Lech Poznan.
I think that's the only surprise from all the matches that were played at the Conference League. And apart from that, there's no surprises anywhere. All the teams that won their matches are those that have been winning the matches that have been playing in Europa League before coming to Conference League. And also we have most of the team that won yesterday for the Europa League also are those that play in the Champions League, and they have to come to the Europa League also. So no surprises at all. Before we start seeing surprises will be when they start playing the quarterfinal. The draw will be held today. So when the draw is held, we'll be able to see the two teams that will be pairing themselves and see where the surprises will come out from.
Well, FC Basel again, Trabzonspor, a nice one for Basel. They were able to triumph there. Fiorentina also were having a 7-2, talking about the result of those games there. We're giving you an update concerning those games played in the Europa League and also Europa Conference League, the second and third tier of UEFA competitions in Europe. Quickly, we move away from there. Let's talk about a man who has really done when it comes to football, where he has really made sure he achieved a lot when it comes to football right now. Talking about Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos has done a lot of activities in the world of football for Spain, and he was able to do well there. Capped 195 times, both for competition also in friendlies, and now he's retiring, talking about internationally, not from football totally, but from playing for Spain. Sergio Ramos, we know what he did. He won 2 Europa, talking about Euro Cups, and also won World Cup with Spain. According to the news featuring the coach, De La Fonte says, well, it's time to call it quit. And Sergio Ramos, a very strong defender, no-nonsense defender right now, is dropping the bat. So I'm talking about international football.
And a player that has 26 red cards to his name. What do you expect?
Really?
Not only the 26 red card, also, and it's also a player that has scored 23 goals for Spain. So that shows that he has really done a lot for the country. He has really done a lot for the country, for a defender to have scored 23 goals. How many Nigerian strikers have scored such a goal in their entire career? That's the truth. And how many strikers in other parts of the world have scored the 23 goals that a defender has scored in his career? I'm not even talking about his career. We're talking about the goal that he has scored for his national team. And also he won the back-to-back European Cup with Spain in 2008 and 2012. And in 2010, at the World Cup, South African, he was part of the team that won it. He's currently 36 years old, and the coach called him and had a conversation with him. yes, you're having a very good performance, you are doing very well, but I want to grow the new generation of
players.
Sergio Ramos, Gerard Piqué, and Carlos Puyol. The same way they started about 15, 16 years ago, he wants to start building the same set of defenders and players. And he look at it that, okay, fine, I'm okay with it. I've won everything that I need to. Anything that a player wants to win in his career, Sergio Ramos has won it, except World Footballer of the Year. Apart from that, I think he has won everything that he needs to win. So I think he's one of the underrated players we have in the world. He has done a lot. It's someone that plays with passion. He plays as if his life depends on football. On the pitch, he's ready to do anything to win a match. So I'm sure the Spain, they will seriously miss it. I mean, look at the performance at the just concluded Qatar World Cup also. They miss his experience. They miss his experience there. So I'm sure 2-4 years is still a long way. They'll be able to build new team that will be able to fill in the vacuum that will be created. Now,
talking about Sergio Ramos, is apart from his experience, his ruggedness. You know, the way he plays football with all passion, doesn't mind what's going to happen. He's ready to go out there as if he wants to die on the pitch. And you mentioned the most red-carded player. Yes. But really, despite the fact that if you minus what he has achieved for Spain national team, if you minus the red card, they actually got there and cost them all those funds to pay for those red cards. And also, for those times he was being pulled out, his influence was actually missed. But really, Sergio Ramos is an icon when it comes to football.
He's a leader also. He's the one that marshals the defense, that controls the defense, and not only defense, even the midfield and the attack. At times, you'll be finding it difficult to know
if
the wing
that
is he a defender or a striker or an attacker. You see him all over the places, dishing out instruction, command. He leads by example. And anytime you see him collecting a red card, it's just like Paul Scholes of Manchester United. Anytime you see those players receiving a red card, they don't even argue it.
They know they deserve
They don't argue. Once you give them the red card, either they come to the referee and they'll give the referee a handshake, or they will smile and they will walk out. Because it's well-deserved red card, and they do that to protect the team and to protect their winning performance. So I think it's most of the red card that you received is more like a sacrifice. Should I allow this ball to go, or I'll sacrifice myself, get the red card, the team will come behind me and save it. It has happened. Look at Luis Suarez, what he did with Uruguayan team against Ghana at 2010 World Cup. So we have players like that they are ready to sacrifice themselves for the common goal of their team. Sergio Ramos is one of them.
Well, I'm very sure Mo Salah will not forget Sergio Ramos in a hurry for what he did against him when Liverpool played Real Madrid. Well, what's at the end of an era when it comes to Sergio Ramos for what he has done for Spanish team there. He has done so well, and now he's retiring from football at the age of 36. Now, let's talk about our own Victor Osimhen. Really, he's gathering a lot of momentum over there in Europe, and right now, Atletico Madrid, who plied their trade at the Wanda Metropolitano right now, they've joined the race for £107 million rated Victor Osimhen. Osimhen is, in fact, right now in Europe, I can even pair him, maybe I can rate him alongside Rashford. I don't know who to pick right now.
No, it's more than Rashford.
Right now, he's ahead of Rashford.
Now, I'll tell you the reason why is more than Rashford. In Europe, if not even in the world, is the second highest goal scorer in the league. Now, we have Erling Haaland, who have scored 26 goals in Premier League, followed by Osimhen, who have scored 28 goals in Serie A. In Spain, we have Robert Lewandowski, that have scored only 15 goals, and he's the highest goal scorer there. Then if you go to the French league, we have Folari Balogun, who has scored 15 goals, and he's the highest goal scorer there. If you go to Bundesliga, you have, what's his name? Udik, that have scored only 13 goals. He plays with Werder Bremen, is the highest goal scorer there. So apart from Erling Haaland, we have Victor Osimhen, who have scored 18 goals and who is the second highest goal scorer in Europe. So you take it or you leave it. If Osimhen happens to be an English player, by now they'll be tipping him for the World Footballer of the Year. The way they're already tipping Rashford, that Rashford can
do this, can do that. Look at the attention around Jude Bellingham. Yeah. Bellingham is not better than Osimhen.
No, you can't put. If you want.
No,
to,
I'm only saying
the
way the press, the way the attention that Rashford and Bellingham are actually getting. If Osimhen should be from England, I can imagine what would have happened by now.
But I don't think there's anything the English press are doing that we cannot do better. But it's like we have a way of condemning Haas. That's the truth. But we have to have a way to define a way to promote Haas because he is far better than all these players. Apart from Erling Haaland, sentiment apart, I don't think there's any informed striker. In fact, if you even ask me to choose between as a coach,
between Osimhen and Haaland, I'll pick Osimhen.
I'll pick Osimhen because Osimhen is not a box 9, he's a box-to-box 9. Osimhen is not a player that will wait inside the box 18 and be expecting midfielder or people to feed him with ball. Osimhen had more assists than Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland, if you can just cage him from box 18, that's the end. But Osimhen, you can't cage him. The pace, the strength, the skills.
If you cannot score, it makes way for others. If you cannot score,
you make a way. If you discover that, okay, all the defenders are really they've already crowded him. He will move away from the box, he will come to the midfield and be providing assists. Have you ever seen that coming from Erling Haaland? To me, Osimhen is the best player in Europe, the best striker in Europe for now. So that £107 million is worth more than this. But he has to choose carefully of the club that he wants to go to. He shouldn't look for money. He should look for where he's going to grow, where his career is going to prepare him to be one of the greatest footballers in Africa.
Talking about Victor Osimhen there right now, attention that is getting in Europe concerning all the clubs coming for him is becoming so humongous, and we hope that he will get it right, picking the right club he will move into. Now, the last straw on the show has to do with another team player of Victor Osimhen. His name is Kim Min-jae. Right now, the young player is really getting accolade from Manchester United. They want to beef up defense by signing Napoli centre back. Kim Min-jae needs for the £2 million release clause.
Okay, it's window shopping because it seemed like Napoli that it will be difficult for them to
release these two good players.
Keep Osimhen. It will be difficult for them to keep Osimhen, and if they allow Osimhen to go, now he wants to take one of their best.
And the same Man U wants Osimhen too.
No, Man U is like I don't know. They are turning to Arsenal right now when it comes to buying players. How can Man U be telling us that Osimhen is too expensive for £107 million? If they are broke, they should just tell us that they are broke. Osimhen worth more than that £107 million.
Well, let's look at what's been happening there concerning Osimhen and Kim Min-jae. Manchester United and all the clubs gone in for all of them, and that will be it on 360 Sport. I've been with Olawale Peters. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, Adeniyi. Thanks for having me.
I am Adeniyi Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.